What they should do, very simple. A lot of you don't know about filibuster. They should terminate the filibuster and approve everything. Because the Democrats are going to do it. The Democrats are going to terminate the filibuster as soon as they have a chance.
What would you say is the most influential book in American history?
So if I may go back to your second question.
What would you say is the most influential book in
May I
American
go back to your second question?
You can answer the one I just asked you.
Well, as a historian, it's probably hard to choose.
Each day presents a new surprise. We will see our president with the crowd in Georgia continue to batten down the hatches on fraud and the corrupt politicians. See endorsement numbers shoot through the roof for him. Watch Brandon Gill take ABA and Smithsonian to the cleaners and end with elderly Americans talking about the good old days of America. It will touch your heart. We're 513,000 followers on Rumble. Thank you for following us and hitting that like button. We, again, hit the top of the leaderboard. We're now number 3 because Crowder came back and Bongino is there, but we thank you for that. We just have this reminder for you.
Our new And We Know bracelets connect you with scripture with just the tap of your phone. Simply tap your phone to the bracelet, click the pop-up, and there's a new verse every time. If you're feeling anxious, need to pray, or just want to see what God has for you in the moment, you can tap for a verse and pray over that situation. Now available online.
Now available online at our new website, andweknow.com. If you guys go check it out, there's some great surprises there for you. We hope you go in the description box below for that. Now let's get to Georgia. Start out with President Trump.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's a special place, and I am here to announce my candidacy. I'm only kidding.
Don't you just love
boy,
that?
I tell you, what a group we have.
Is he really kidding? We know that he's probably been in office since 2016, 17, heading into today. We've been in a military control for a long time. And finally, President Trump's having a good time with it. And for him to start with that, you know that there were folks behind the scenes that said, hey, this is what we want you to say. And of course, that gets everybody excited. Teases that into the mindset of the people in case he does stay in and the national emergency continues. Now, part of this emergency is getting our elections fixed. And got an update. Heard this from, again. We're going to listen to this. Let's see what it says.
Well, everybody, this was obviously a consequential week for House Republicans, but it was a very consequential week for the American people. And we've delivered once again. Americans demand a few things that are common sense. They demand secure elections. They want a strong national defense capable of countering our adversaries. They want a Congress that plays by the same rules that they do. These are not big things to ask. House Republicans delivered on all those promises and those priorities this week and then some. By way of reminder, this is what we did this week. The House Republicans passed the Clean CR to keep the government funded responsibly, the Stop Insider Trading Act that bans lawmakers from trading and buying individual stocks and from abusing their office for financial gain, the NDAA to provide a much-needed pay raise for our troops and to rebuild the arsenal of freedom, and the budget resolution that unlocks our third reconciliation bill, which of course is Republicans' best shot to get as much of the Save America Act into law as possible, in addition to funding our national defense and our farmers. Republicans support our troops, our farmers, and election security. And we're the only team in Washington that does. Many of you doubted our success. Many of you standing around me in this gaggle right now said, let me read you a sample of the headlines. Quote, House Republicans face final week gauntlet. Another said, Johnson's rocky sprint to recess. Another said it was Johnson's make or break week. Despite nearly every Democrat voting against everything I just read you, House Republicans delivered. Now, many of you like to say that major legislating can't happen in an election year. We just proved you wrong. This week we continue to deliver for the people, and we're going to continue that streak all the way through the end of this year and into the next Congress. We're increasingly confident that we will hold and grow this majority in the House. We must, because you're seeing a demonstration of the two sides, the divergent views for America. We had been saying that this was an election that was shaping up as a contest between common sense and crazy. And now it is literally, in many sectors around the country, common sense versus communism. We have done our job. We'll continue to do it. Tomorrow, House Republicans will return to their districts armed with a proven track record of success and in these new legislative victories. Democrats, on the other hand, have to go home. They have to answer for quite a bit. They have to answer for why they voted against funding our troops, against funding the government, against common sense policies like voter ID and proof of citizenship, and against a popular ban on members of Congress purchasing individual stocks. We have 3.5 months to go until this election. We are going to run through the tape. We're going to continue to demonstrate here every day, as we did this week. The Republicans are on the side of the American people, on the side of common sense, on the side of America. The Democrats simply are not. That's the sad reality of where we are, and everybody gets to make a choice in the upcoming election. We're very much looking forward to that. Thank you. Thank you.
So, of course, not in support of that Save America Act. Pocahontas, she was confronted, and Little TV at it again.
Hi, just a quick question for you. I know you're vehemently opposed to the Save America Act, but does the recent revelation in New Jersey with the aliens who are actually registered to vote change your opinion on getting that legislation passed?
Look, it is already illegal for someone who's not an American citizen to vote, period.
But there's
That's the
at
law.
least 400 aliens that did vote.
There are already laws to prevent that.
Well, do you
And
think
if
anything's gonna
people
happen?
have violated the law, then they should be prosecuted.
Do you
Easy.
think anything's actually going to
Easy.
happen? I thought Democrats always said that there's no evidence of
I
legal
don't
vote.
understand why you want laws that are already there. That
they're
makes
not
no
being-
sense.
I thought Democrats said illegals never vote, but obviously they do, right? Thank you, Senator.
And confronted and acting like a fool again, Pocahontas, for us to continue to enjoy watching while she's still there. Colonel Towner Watkins, of course, told us the latest attempt by the mafia posing as senators to not pass the SAVE Act. Brian Cates chimed in. You can't tell people our Congress is full of literal paid agents of foreign powers with higher loyalties than to their own nation and citizens. You cannot tell them. You can't tell the people. If you just tell them, many of them would not believe you. You must show them for 7+ months before you act to remove them that paid foreign spy traitors are subverting our national institutions, including our elections. Can't tell, must show. Before you act to remove them from office. Otherwise, a civil war might break out. And there's not going to be a civil war. Patriots are in control. President Trump said this, 35,152 is the new number just released by Homeland Security of non-citizens registered to vote in New Jersey. Not 6,000. No, not that number. These are just the ones that got caught. The real numbers will prove to be many times this amount. They are all Democrats. Republicans get smart and straighten out our cricket elections. Pass the Save America Act.
While our administration is lifting up the next generation with the power of freedom and American capitalism, proven all over the world when it's done right. It's not always done right, but when it's done right, there's nothing like it. The radical left is actively trying to destroy our children's future with the disaster known as communism. It's communism. This isn't a social democrat. These are communists by another name, right? As I said in my recent address at Mount Rushmore recently, I don't know if anybody saw it, such a beautiful place. You know, the communists want to take it down. They try taking Mount Rushmore down. They want to blow it up. They want to take it down. They shouldn't be up there. These people are crazy. But communism is, in my opinion, communism is the single greatest threat to our country and its history, including even World War I and World War II, Pearl Harbor, 9/11. I think it's the greatest threat that I've ever seen to our country. These people are stone cold crazy. And it is the enemy of the free people everywhere and everywhere in the world. You see it happening, and every time it starts to happen, the areas where it's at, whether it's blue states, you see the blue states are all going bad. They're all going bad because communism is a loser. The concept, the policy, it's a loser, and it always has been, and it always will be. And, you know, they want to give everyone everything away. You want free rent, you want free house, you want what they don't say is that a year from now, there'll be absolute squalor, turmoil, and death. And that's the way it's happened all the way. It goes back thousands of years by different names. But that's the way it happens all the time. It's squalor, it's poverty, it's death, it's destruction. And that's why we declare again today that the United States of America will never be a communist country.
And it seems like we've talked about this in the past. Communism linked up with Islam seems to be something that the key word for all of this. Mamdani being one of them, and hopefully throughout the rest of the United States, we get it cleaned up before it's too late. Before it's too late. So I'm going to show you the motivation to vote in the midterm elections, what's going on there, who's voting, how this is going to play out, President Trump's approval numbers, the White House and their comms, and so much more. Stick around. Well, many of you have heard Lance and I talk about the pine pollen and the benefits it offers for hormone support, as well as healthy energy levels and detoxification. Pine pollen is close to 200 different nutrients and compounds in it, making it an actual superfood that the body can benefit from. From now until August 20th, Ascent Nutrition's offering 10% off all products exclusively with us by using code AWK. And I also take their Shilajit, which is great to combine with pine pollen to help support nutrient absorption, brain health, and energy levels. Ascent Nutrition also offers their omega-3 product algae oil DHA, organic sea moss, organic turmeric, and many other great products. You can get these for 10% off from now until August 20th by using code AWK at goascentnutrition.com/and we know in the description box below.
And Democrats have a lead, but again, to your point, if you add up extremely and vary, and you have pretty much a tie with Republicans hanging in there, how much do you think that the Democratic Socialist push around the country in some of these primaries and some of these elections that we've seen affects some of that motivation for Republicans?
Well, I certainly think that's part of one of the ingredients in the general unpopularity of the Democratic Party, which is, I should say, is one of the reasons Republicans have some hope here. The Democrats are really in bad odor with the public, and they got all these extreme candidates out there, and some of whom have won nominations. One of whom got elected mayor of New York City, and is a very visible presence. So that's something that Republicans are sure to hit on. That the Democratic Party has gone so far left, it's off the side of the table, and they'll do with it what they can. But it's tough in a midterm when people are feeling strongly, as we've discussed, about the economy and the cost of living, to buck that. And I think Republicans have a tall order ahead of them. Yeah, and independence upside down on the war in Iran and obviously gas prices. But to our point there, favorable opinion of Democratic
a socialist agenda, socialism? It's hard to believe that we asked this question, but do you have a favorable opinion of socialism? 52% of Democrats do. 11% of Republicans do. I don't know where the 11% is from, but capitalism wins out on the Republican side. It's just interesting to see these numbers and how that potentially affects things. Mark Thiessen yesterday was saying that perhaps he is starting to feel, just like the red wave prediction in 2022, that the blue wave is not going to be as big as perhaps they think it is.
Well, you know, Brett, we may have entered into an era in which these landslides that we used to see, where, you know, one party or candidate would win up 58, 59% of the vote, win huge presidential election margins and so forth. We haven't had that in quite some time. We may not see it again for some time. And that refusal of the general electorate to really give too much power to either party. I mean, Republicans hold all three branches of the federal government right now, at least the two main ones, Congress and the White House, but they don't hold it by much. President Trump likes to say he was elected in a landslide. Electoral college landslides are not the same as popular vote landslides, and he didn't have a popular vote landslide. He had a narrow but convincing win, and these margins in the House and Senate are very narrow for the Republicans. So everything seems, you know, kind of poised on a knife's edge as we go into this election and into 2028.
As we always say, polls are a snapshot in time, and we have a lot to go before November. Britt?
Who knows what these polls really have? Who knows how Fox really twist these numbers, because President Trump's even called him out many times. Socialists crushed by 30 points in Arizona CD4 primary. Even Democrats in battleground Arizona are done with radical leftism. You're looking at your screen. Stanton got it 66.6%. Interesting. To 33.4% for Democrat Newkirk. Trump endorsed candidates had a record in the 2026 cycle, now stands at a jaw-dropping 97%. Complete sweep in Arizona. 223 of 230 that he's endorsed have made it through. His picks keep getting through. Listen to this.
21st century own party approval rating about at this point in the second term. We got Trump, we got Obama, we got Bush. Look, they're all fairly popular, but the one who is the most popular, and we have seen this time in and time out, no matter when you look, is Donald John Trump. He's the only one who's over 80%. 83% of Republicans still approve of the job that Donald Trump is doing as president. He still has that magic touch. We'll see if it carries over to South Carolina, but we've seen it in primaries this year, Senate primaries, and that's because he is still a very popular man, historically popular when it comes to his own party liking and approving of the job that he's doing.
So it was. Oh, yeah. Better than everyone else. And that's if the numbers are correct. Who knows? It could be much higher, and Obama and Bush could be much lower. They just don't want to embarrass them. You know how they pay these guys off.
What they should do? Very simple. A lot of you don't know about filibuster. They should terminate the filibuster and approve everything. Because the Democrats are going to do it. The Democrats are going to terminate the filibuster as soon as they have a chance. And then they're going to approve Puerto Rico and D.C. as a state. They got 4 more senators. They're going to end up with 12 more congressmen. They're going to get at like 40 electoral votes. If they are allowed to do that, by that time I'll be sitting home. And I'm not a big crier. I don't think you want to see me cry, you know? There are some people, they do very well when they cry. But you don't want to see me cry. But I may be crying when I'll be sitting home and I'll say, I told them they got to really terminate the filibuster, get everything approved right away. Because you're going to have a stoppage. You're going to have a stoppage in September. The Democrats won't approve everything. They become deranged, like deranged Jack Smith. Remember that deranged sick puppy? They're deranged and they won't approve. You're going to have a shutdown in September. And in 2 years later, you have the debt ceiling bill. They would love it. I call it the 1929. You know what 1929 means? That was not a good year. And there's no reason for it. They should terminate the filibuster. Everybody call John Thune at the Senate. He's the leader of the Republican Party, and tell him to get this stuff approved.
John Thune's numbers in the description box below, in case you guys are wondering.
So we're fighting so that all voters must show voter ID. We're fighting so that all voters must provide proof of citizenship, okay? And also the no mail-in ballots, very important. And we're doing exceptions for illness, disability, military deployment, travel. If you're away and you have problems, we'll be very easy on that. Look, if you're away, if you're in the military, you want to vote, we want you to vote. But we'll also enshrine in permanent law no men in women's sports and no transgender surgery for your children.
That's what we're seeing. Now, check this out, folks. The White House put this out for all to see. It's called, To Me, My MAGA Patriots. The boss, President of the United States. And then you got VP crushing fraud and protecting the American taxpayer. Rubio protecting America's interests around the world. RFK Jr. making America healthy again, part-time snake wrangler. Secretary Bessent driving unprecedented economic growth. Secretary of War leading the greatest and most fearless military in the world. Boy, they have a great crew. You notice they have that DNA swirling behind them. In case you guys are not watching, that's what's behind each person. Great Awakening put this out. Heidi Cater. 23andMe, my MAGA DNA, right? Because it says, to me, almost like it's play on those words. Make Ascension great again. What is coded in your DNA? Who put it there? Why? Mankind is repressed. We will be repressed no more. Information is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Information is power. How do you protect your DNA? There's a war for your DNA. Protect your DNA. And then we had the word ascension. Q. Now, I wanted to show you something that really touched my heart here yesterday. Recognizing First Lieutenant Tyler Feehan, Sergeant Michael Swinton, Sergeant Angel Ramprasad, and Private Isabella Gonzalez. President Trump and many representatives of his team bringing them home. Il Donato Trumpo said, God bless Tyler, Michael, Angel, and Isabella. And every time I see these folks, it gets my heart. It's a time that we remember all that we've been through, all that we're going through. We pray for their protection every day. Those on the front lines, those in uniform, many that we're never probably ever going to know that have been fighting for our country and for many others around this earth. As President Trump was in Georgia, he recognized a family member. Trump honored the family of fallen hero First Lieutenant Tyler Feehan. And the entire stadium stood and cheered in support. I'm going to play that clip in a moment with President Trump talking about them, but look at the parents in anguish. The president even gave them a ride home on Air Force One after the transfer.
The way everybody feels. Your neighborhood, this is your neighborhood. Can you believe it?
Caroline Levitt said, spending the day with this incredible family and the other families of our fallen heroes was an honor. Their loved ones' ultimate sacrifice will never be forgotten. President Trump will make sure America never forgets the names of these great patriots.
His name was Lieutenant Tyler Feehan, and he was a person that was going all the way. He was going to be a general. He would have been a general very quickly. He was heading in that path. But I just want to thank Tyler's mother, Sherry, his father, Stephen, and his uncle, David, who great people. I got to know them a little bit on the plane and standing there watching this sight, which is Oh, it's very tough to watch, to be honest with you. Very tough. I think it's the toughest thing I do. If anything I do all this stuff, but I think it's the toughest thing I do. But to Sherry and Stephen and David, we will carry Tyler's memory in our hearts forever. And I just want to thank you. It's an honor to have you here today. Please.
And there you go. You hear what President Trump said. And as I see my son now enlisting in the Air Force, and I've had one in the Army, one in the Marine Corps, now one going in the Air Force, and all those that have served and continue to serve our country, and the many that have lost their children, brothers, sisters, grandchildren, to be recognized once again for their service. President Trump put this out at 12:51 p.m., July 22nd. Trump orders CENTCOM to open the gates of hell after U.S. troops killed, launches strikes on Iran. Ultramagadine, President Trump's Truth, is an article which says he ordered this. Q1251 says, listen carefully, trust the plan. The YouTube link. We hear you loud and clear, Mr. President. We will continue to trust in our president and trust the plan. Much of that plan has to do with fraud. We're going to show you that he brought up, and we're going to show you more from Nick Shirley on his uncovering of these people that continue to steal money from our country. We're hardworking Americans, and the takedown of the Smithsonian, and also the removal, hopefully someday, of the American Bar Association. We don't need them. You'll be shocked what you hear.
Folks, I'm feeling so much better now that I've visited Chad and Katie Brewer, and they gave me their Fortify 365 NAD+, a coenzyme found in every cell of your body. I'm telling you, sharper, stronger, I'm more energized. It fuels my brain function. I can tell. It boosts the energy, supports metabolism, helps my cells repair and regenerate. And I was just overwhelmed when I took this stuff. As we age and we face stress and illness, or addiction, NAD drops those levels, leaving us tired and foggy. Well, glutathione is the body's master antioxidant, so it's combined NAD plus glutathione. It detoxifies the liver and as a result supports the immune system and reduces inflammation and oxidative stress. So together, NAD plus and glutathione are powerful anti-aging combo. You can actually get this in the description box below. Click on the link in the description box, fortify365.com/AUK.
To stop the massive theft of taxpayer dollars, including by the millions and millions, we have launched the war on fraud, led by Vice President J.D. Vance. He's doing a great job. We ended Medicaid for illegal immigrants, and we redirected $50 billion to make the largest investment in rural health in the history of our country. You're getting hospitals built in areas just like this.
How about that? The fraud is going to be taken care of one way or another. Nick Shirley uncovered something. A durable medical equipment fraud scam.
Here inside of these residential apartment complexes, we have some DME companies, durable medical equipment companies that receive money from New York Medicaid. And it's a bit fishy that they're operating inside of these residential apartment complexes. So we're going to see what's going on. We have Premier, Lifeline, and Next Gen. They're all operating out of one apartment. Let's see what's going on. Hello. How's it going, ma'am? My name is Nick. Is Premier DME here?
DME?
Yeah. Yeah. Here, 3 durable medical equipment companies were launched within just a few months apart here, and that takes money from Medicaid and Medicare services. And so we're wondering, like, where's the equipment at?
Actually, I don't know.
But so do you guys not have any of the equipment here?
No.
No.
I don't have any.
So how come your husband has this address registered as the location for 3 different companies that receive money from Medicaid for durable medical equipment?
I don't know. He's coming maybe like half hour. I don't know. Actually,
Do you know what kind of equipment he sells?
No, we don't have. Not at home. We have a job. We go to job. I don't have any equipment.
But does he sell durable medical equipment?
I don't know. At home, nothing. No.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything.
Inside of this apartment complex, one apartment alone, there is 3 DME companies operating out of one apartment. Is that even possible? And it says that these places can make about $2 to $8 million a year.
Well, first off, was there anything in the apartments when you went to it?
Absolutely nothing. There was a mom and her children, and the husband was out.
It's almost certainly fraud. First off, it's $2 to $8 million a month, believe it or not, when they really get to scale. They may just be at that number now, but these guys grow like vermin very quickly. There's twice as many durable medical suppliers in South Florida than McDonald's because it's easier to open one than a bank account. And the person named in the account is never the person who actually owns the business. In South Florida, the Cuban government's involved. I don't know where these guys are getting their money to go, but they're definitely shipping it somewhere. And that's why I get very nervous about foreign governments getting entangled in this. But to open 3 in one apartment makes no sense, especially when there's no product there. All you're doing is gaming the system. And the fact that we didn't audit it, didn't catch it, didn't stop it, and they're probably out there making money infuriates me. You should bother folks out there because it's your tax dollars paying for this.
So it's literally impossible for someone to be operating a durable medical equipment company inside of an apartment.
Inside an apartment with no goods and 2 other durable medical equipment suppliers, that's a major red flag, the kind you walk in the battle with.
So 3 LLCs inside of one apartment, and Dr. Oz has confirmed that that's not even possible.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that?
Yeah, good at coverage there. Third capture for most wanted fraudsters list, stealing American taxpayer dollars will not fly under President Trump. The FBI nabbing alleged $547 million Medicare fraud fugitive. The third capture for most wanted fraudsters list. That's from the White House. Abdiaziz Shafi Farah, one of the Feeding Our Future fraudsters, was sentenced to 10 more years in prison for attempting to bribe the jury. This is in addition to his 28-year prison sentence for stealing $40 million in taxpayer dollars. These fraudsters just keep getting worse and worse. Now, we had this up the other day, but we'll bring it up again. The full Fifth Circuit has just issued an extraordinary precedential order making clear that illegal aliens do not have a constitutional right to roam free in the United States during their removal proceedings. Brian Cates chimed in as a reminder on this. How many of you fully understand the implications? Number 1, the federal government does know exactly where most of the illegals in this country are currently residing. They've always known. These people are getting the federal benefits. Number 2, they're all about to be told they are no longer going to be allowed to just roam around inside of the country. They are about to be ordered to surrender themselves to authorities at a specific location. Number 3, the federal benefits being turned off and they're being debanked will provide incentives to show up at the required location and surrender. Number 4, assuming several million don't comply, they're still cut off from federal aid and will have to leave their current location because that's where they're in the federal database. They were getting their bennies there. Number 5, so no more federal support structure, and they have to find a new place to live, and they have to really hide out this time. A lot of them are going to take the hint and self-deport.
All right, this news just breaking moments ago. Fox News has obtained photos of one of the Somali illegal immigrants wrapped up in the Minnesota fraud scandal, posing with several high-profile Minnesota Democrats, including Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and Governor Tim Walz. The man pictured is Abdul Dahir Ibrahim. He entered the country in 2000 and has had an order for removal since 2004. He also has a prior conviction in Canada for asylum and welfare fraud. ICE tells Fox News Ibrahim was granted temporary protected status for 10 years, but should have never been eligible. We are going to have more on this in our next hour.
Yeah. All right, some other fraudsters here. House passes major NDAA amendments, no more taxpayer-funded transgender procedures in the military. So 4 Republicans just voted against codifying the Trump's executive order to ban transgender people from serving in the military. You're looking right there at them. Brian Fitzpatrick, Kimberly King Hines, James Moylan, and Michael Lawler. I wonder what's going on there. Now to what we've been waiting for. The Smithsonian History Museum director stumbles when asked basic questions about biological sex and gender.
I'm moving on because I don't know how much money you spent on getting prep for this hearing. They did a good job because you're filibustering and not answering a single question from a single Republican. Today, do you believe that men can become women?
Ma'am, as the director of the museum, that's not relevant in this case.
It's very relevant. You've got men dressed up as women, and you have them on displays in front of kids. Do you think men can become women, yes or no?
So RuPaul's Drag Race, which is the upper...
It's a man. RuPaul is a man who dresses like a woman, literally.
Correct.
What is a woman, Dr. Hartig?
As a director and as a historian, it's not my opportunity.
You sexualize the American History Museum. So this is a fair question. What is a woman?
So at the museum...
What is a woman?
We strive to represent and not categorize all Americans.
Okay, I have another question for you. There's a glossary at the museum that informs visitors that while American culture traditionally recognizes 2 genders, other countries recognize 3 or more. So enlighten me this morning. How many genders are there?
Ma'am, which glossary?
This is a display, and that has a glossary that says other countries recognize 3 or more genders. So I would like you to enlighten me today. You're the director of the American History Museum who's sexualized things in front of kids.
Yep.
I want to ask you, how many genders are there?
So first of all, I'm happy to get
How
back
many?
to you about the glossary.
How many genders are there?
Sure.
And what are they?
I'm not sure which glossary you're speaking of.
Of course, I know that you don't. You know exactly what this hearing was about today. One of your exhibits at the American History Museum says sometimes gender isn't revealed at birth. So when is gender revealed?
So
when was your gender revealed to you, Dr. Hartig?
So I don't really think that's relevant to the
It is relevant. You have a display at the American History Museum talking about gender isn't always revealed at birth. So when was your gender revealed?
So since I am a PhD and...
I wasn't done yet, but I'll yield back, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mason.
I have a PhD. I am the leader of the Smithsonian, and this is the stuff that they're giving you folks when, visit America. Go to the Smithsonian. Oh, the kids, let's take a field trip. We're going to catch a bus and everybody, let's go. We're going to learn so much about our country. And they get there and it's run by a bunch of leftists. I think they should just get rid of it like USAID. Defund it, shut it down, turn it into something else. I've had enough.
History, even if it's not properly carried
Now it's Brandon Gill's time.
out, would you say that the goal of history is to be objective?
Thank you, sir, for the question. I think that there are many goals of history, and certainly as you collect, as we do, examine evidence, create
Is
scholarship.
objectivity one of
diversity.
the goals of history?
We strive to be objective and nonpartisan and not based on any ideology.
So it's one of the goals. Doesn't that seem a little bit concerning? It certainly does to me, because as part of this white supremacy document that your organization has promoted, objectivity is a core and defining aspect of white supremacy culture. Do you think that it's the goal of the Smithsonian Institution to promote white supremacy culture?
Sir, do you mind sharing with me which document?
White supremacy culture right here. This is part of the mass action toolkit that your organization has promoted for several years now under your leadership. Are you promoting a white supremacy culture at the Smithsonian?
She's right, taking notes.
Ma'am, is this a difficult question?
No, sir, I'm just thinking about the mass action toolkit. We didn't develop it, but Back to your question, no, we're not promoting any ideology.
Does it concern you that your goal is objectivity? One of your goals is objectivity, and your mass action toolkit references objectivity as a defining characteristic of white supremacy culture.
It's not our toolkit.
It is your toolkit. You've been promoting it for quite some time.
We did not come up with the toolkit, sir.
But you've been promoting it.
It is used as a reference, I believe, probably in 2019, 2020.
Yes, under your leadership, it has been used as a reference. Is Mickey Mouse racist?
Mickey Mouse is not racist.
It's not racist. According to the Smithsonian Institution, one of your exhibits referenced Mickey Mouse as representing, quote, vestiges of longstanding traditions of blackface minstrelsy. Would you describe that as racist?
Whoa.
No, the historical trajectory of the origins of Mickey Mouse tie directly
So Mickey Mouse is rooted in racism. Is that your testimony?
No, sir, it's rooted in minstrelsy.
Minstrelsy, you don't think that blackface minstrelsy is racist?
It had certain unobvious racial overtones that have been well documented.
You think that that's problematic, that Mickey Mouse also has those racial overtones?
It's not for me to determine what's problematic. It's determined to me what's accurate.
Let's pause here for a second. Whew. Let's take a breather. Before we get to some more of this nonsense, Dan Scavino posted this. Absolutely amazing. To watch every post that comes out from Dan Scavino, there's got to be comms. Amazing as it gets to the precipice, then at the 17-second mark. Gets to the precipice, 17 seconds, it starts the dive down. Scavino confirming admin comms with the nons queue via timestamps, and we are millions with power. 2234 posted. Imagine the frustration if we weren't here communicating with you. You are many tens of millions strong. Let your voices be heard. Information is meant to be free. Power to the people. Now, he's posted a few different airplane videos. 2 videos, same day, same violin music. Violin reminds us of when President Trump had that meme out. My next piece is called Nothing Can Stop What's Coming. All right. Back to the Smithsonian and some more craziness.
What would you say is the most influential book in American history?
So if I may go back to your second question.
What would you say is the most influential book in
May I
American
go back to your second question?
history? You can answer the one I just asked you.
Everyone should know the answer to that, especially somebody with a PhD. Remember, she was bragging about it.
Well, as a historian, it's probably hard to choose which is the most influential book in United States history, but I can tell you what's the most influential document, and that is the Declaration of Independence, which appears in different ways
Most
at least
influential
4 or
book.
5 times.
The founders quoted one book more than any other book.
The founders were very well read, and as you know, Thomas Jefferson's library became the core of the Library of
Yes,
Congress.
and that book would have been the Bible. Secondly, would have been Common Sense by Thomas Paine. Now, I went to the bookstore. I couldn't find Common Sense in the bookstore. I did find, these books. Here's George Takei. It rhymes with Takei. A book in which he talks about, one young man lusting after another. I'm not sure why this is in our American History Museum in the kids section, mind you. That's you think is important to have it in the American History Museum?
So George Takei, as you know, the actor from Star Trek, was incarcerated during World War II as the result of Executive Order 9066. And his children's book, I think, is a beautiful
Who made the decision
story.
to put that in there but not Common Sense?
You don't want to have Common Sense there, but you want to have this book. Oh, he was an actor. Oh, he had some more stuff involved. He could put out information to all these children to show them that it's okay for them to have inappropriate relationships with the same sex. It's okay. He's a wonderful person. So we should have his books. Children should be told what to do behind closed doors as you see this door that these kids are running out of with the rainbow flag, right, that they stole. Of course, they removed one of the colors. There's only 6 colors. But again, the Smithsonian drove me to something I thought was the perfect connection that was released recently from Sageza Eterna. Final Telegraph. Real James Wood said that he's definitely reads up on this, loves it. Liberals are the most dangerous and inherently evil threat to America. The liberal is not merely mistaken, misguided, or simply wrong. They are soulless creatures, lacking any moral compass or human empathy, a fact proven by their cold indifference to the millions of lives destroyed by their policies. They are predatory hunters, stalking the vulnerable, not to help them, but to secure their votes and feed their insatiable hunger for power. Treating the poor as pawns in a game of political chess while they themselves live in gated communities. This is a depraved ideology, morally corrupt beyond redemption, that has normalized the murder of the unborn and mutilation of children, celebrating these atrocities as progress, while claiming the high ground of compassion. They are treacherous by nature, betraying their country and their neighbors at every turn, from selling our secrets to foreign adversaries, to opening our borders to invaders who threaten the very fabric of our society. They are parasitic entities, feeding on the success and labor of hardworking Americans, draining the wealth of the productive to fund their corrupt machine and enrich their donor class. Their actions are malicious, acting with intentional harm and ill will against the very people they claim to serve, as seen in their deliberate destruction of our energy independence, which drives up costs of the working class. Now, it goes further. Their agenda they push is vile, disgustingly immoral and wicked, promoting a culture of decay where anything goes except truth, tradition, and decency. They are corrupt to the core, rotting the foundations of society from within by infiltrating our schools, our courts, and our government agencies with their radical ideology. There's something almost demonic about their fervor, as if possessed by an evil that seeks destruction for its own sake, tearing down statues, burning cities, and defiling sacred institutions with a gleeful hatred. They're saboteurs, actively working to destroy the nation from within, weakening our military, crippling our economy, eroding our borders with a precision that suggests a coordinated attack rather than mere incompetence. Their behavior is pathological, mental disease. They are ruthless, showing no mercy to the innocent, whether it is the small business owner they shut down during the pandemic or the child they deny medical care to by restricting parental rights. They're calculating, coldly planning the downfall of civilization by systematically dismantling the family unit, the church, and the nation state, replacing them with a soulless, bureaucratic nightmare. Their words are poisonous, spinning toxicity that kills communities, turning neighbors against each other with the lies about racism and privilege that have no basis in reality. They're traitorous, selling out the nation to foreign enemies, whether it is through nuclear deals with Iran, trade agreements with China, or funding for regimes that hate us. They're monstrous, behaving like beasts rather than humans, supporting riots that burn our cities and attacking police officers who protect our communities. Look at the legacy of Barack Obama, the saint of the left, whose presidency was in itself inherently evil. Under his watch, we saw the rise of the very hatred he claimed to oppose, the deepening of racial divides he promised to heal, the emboldening of our enemies, who saw his weakness as an invitation to attack. He is the face of the depravity, a man who used his charm to mask a heart full of contempt for the American people. He and his followers are not here to help. They're here to destroy, and we must recognize them for what they are before it is too late. They are the enemy from within. And their evil is not a bug in the system, it's the feature. They are the darkness trying to extinguish the light, and we must fight them with every ounce of our strength. There is no compromise with evil, no negotiation with demons, and no peace for those who seek our destruction. We must expose them, defeat them, and remove them from power before they complete their work of annihilation. The time for politeness is over. The time for truth is now. Now let's head over to the American Bar Association.
Third sentence of your written testimony, you said that the American Bar Association is a nonpartisan organization. Is that really true?
Yes, sir, it is.
Really? You take any partisan positions as the American Bar Association?
The ABA takes position when our House of
The
Delegates...
association opposes any law that restricts abortion. This came out after the Dobbs decision. That's pretty partisan. The American Bar Association opposes detention of individuals who are here illegally. Any migrants who break our immigration laws, you oppose detention. Those sound pretty partisan positions to me. Would you agree?
The ABA takes positions by our House of Delegates, which is made up of 600 lawyers from across the country. When we take positions, we do so based on the information that we believe is...
How about men and women's sports? Do you have a position on that?
I don't have a list of all of our...
I'll read from the American Bar Association, adopted by the House of Delegates, August 9th, 2021 resolution. The American Bar Association opposes any federal, state, local, territorial, tribal regulation or policy that prohibits transgender students from participating in athletics in accordance with their gender identity. Sounds like you're for men and women's sports to me.
Our House of Delegates adopted a resolution based on the discussion and debate of our 600-member board or House of Delegates.
I've never heard of a nonpartisan organization that's for unrestricted abortion, no detention for people who break our immigration law, and who want men and women's sports. I've never heard of a nonpartisan organization adopt those positions. You still say you're nonpartisan?
I do, sir.
Wow, that's amazing. Nonpartisan, and won't tell us who you want to win the war, our ally or a terrorist organization. Mr. Smith?
Miss Benke. Let's continue.
Would you agree with the statement that, quote, all of us have implicit biases from the ABA's website?
The ABA believes that diversity in all of its realms is important.
Can I take that? It's a yes or no question. Do you believe that all of us have implicit biases, as your website says?
The ABA looks to remove barriers, and we examine...
That's not my question, ma'am. Do you believe that all of us have implicit biases?
I've expressed what the ABA is doing.
That is the ABA's position, as expressed by their website. Against which groups do you have implicit biases?
The ABA believes that it's important to always explore...
Are you going to filibuster? Because it doesn't make you sound very good. I'm going to ask you again, against which groups do you have implicit biases?
It's important to always examine everyone's point of view and where they may need to consider...
It is. What about your point of view?
I am here as the president of the American Bar Association.
And I'm asking you what your implicit biases are.
The ABA is an entity.
Have you reflected on your implicit biases?
I think about how I operate
What are they?
in the world constantly.
Would you like to explain to us what they are?
I am here speaking on behalf of the ABA and the ABA's...
All right, we're going to move on.
Yep. Leftists. Running the American Bar Association, running the Smithsonian. Oh, man, they're probably just running thousands and thousands of things across our country. But I tell you what, those with PhDs that actually put them to good use would be Dr. Kirk Elliott. We had a great interview with him. U.S. holds largest gold stockpile. And what that means and what's happening in August and how this is going to play out. What an amazing revelation to find out that the dollar, thanks to Scott Bessent, was backed by silver and gold. So go check out that interview. We got another one coming up this weekend, and we've been told August is going to be a big month. If you want to reach out to him, it's amweknow.com/gold in the description box below. Get your IRAs converted to precious metals. You jump on the bandwagon and watch this play out for all. Wanted to show you this.
I feel like I've just unlocked a new level of awakening, and normally I would be so scared to talk about vaccines because someone's going to label me anti-vax, but I literally don't care anymore because the truth is out there and it's right in front of our faces. You can look on the inserts and it's literally aborted fetuses in the vaccine ingredient list and all these other animal cells. I watched this 2-hour lecture and he broke it down so factual and by timeline and connected the dots of everything. And I looked everything up myself and it's all true. I'm going to be posting stuff soon about this, but long story short, Roe v. Wade was not meant for women's rights. It was not made to protect women and their bodies, to give them the opportunity to have an abortion if they need it. That's not the point of Roe v. Wade. The propaganda is real. It all makes sense. And it's so disgusting that they're using aborted fetuses to make our vaccines. Anyone who thinks otherwise, like, I don't care anymore. Yes, I'm anti-vaccine.
Unfortunately, what this nurse is saying is true. There are vaccines currently used in the U.S. produced using human cells line originally derived from abortions. This started in the 1960s. The viruses are grown in these cells and purified. Trace DNA may remain in very small, minute amounts. So this is why there is very good cause for religious exemptions for a lot of vaccines. And major religious bodies, including the Vatican, have addressed these moral concerns. And again, there is very good reason for religious exemptions because of this.
So let's go into the next one here.
In case you needed a reason to unfollow me, no child thinks they're born in the wrong body until a creepy adult deliberately puts that idea in their head.
There's two things I want to point out here. The first one is, look how many people like this post. There's 233,000 people who like this post. And these are people who are totally against the transgender agenda of brainwashing little kids into being trans. And one of the issues is kid shows like this saying, I'm non-binary. And if we go back to Netflix, remember that Senator Josh Hawley revealed in an official hearing that 50% of Netflix content for kids is indoctrination into transgender ideology.
Never forget that. We've talked about that before. And then I saw this.
Do you think life was better back then if you think about how you grew up?
Oh, no doubt.
Really?
No doubt. I grew
So an 86-year-old woman compares life in America then versus now.
up in the 50s. It was the best time in the world. Every night on Saturdays, I would go down by bus by myself to the YMCA and dance and have a good time. I'd come home by myself on the bus, walk home in the dark. The door would be unlocked. And I was not afraid of anything. I felt safe. People were more honest. They were more caring. And I think they had better morals, better ethics. I don't know what has happened today, that it seems like the ethics and morals have just flown out the window. You know, you can do all kinds of crazy things and it's accepted.
Yeah.
You know, and it scares me
Yeah.
because I don't want my grandchildren to be growing up into a world where life is like that.
This woman says that growing up in America was way better before than it is now. I think that probably a lot of people agree, but let's just take a look at what the comments have to say. No one is Christian anymore. Everyone knows what changed. I wonder what that could be. There were 2-parent homes and children were raised by daycare. That's a big one. I missed a high trust society. Don't we all? That can happen today if living in the right area. What area is that, I wonder? Before civil rights, what a dream. Make America like the 50s again. Wasn't segregation still a thing in the 50s? It's so awful now. Could never have imagined the hell when I was a kid. I wonder what happened. Well, I think that a lot of people are probably inferring that something like immigration happened, and it may have destroyed our high trust society and our way of life.
So those clips I gave you, the last 3 for Wall Street Apes, he's doing a great job breaking these down and giving us those quick rundowns on all of this. Now, before the rally for President Trump here, just wanted to play this since we're on that note about America.
A lot of it invested in the United States. Tell us more about that. My uncles died in World War II for the United States. One of them died in the Pacific, and one of them died in Europe. And so and my father was in World War II also. He was in the Navy. So I grew up around military bases. Never was in the military, but I think the people who actually paid the price for freedom should be respected. And I think that I'm not really delighted at all the interlopers who've not paid anything and come here for welfare. Said in the old days, back in the turn of the century, people were not on welfare, so we welcomed them. Now we import them and they're on welfare. And so everything has changed. It's not the same system as it used to be.
And so just a reminder, folks are pointing out and they're letting us know what America used to be like. President Trump course, in his speech, is saying that best is yet to come, obviously, and wanted to play this.
We are in the golden age. This is the greatest we'll ever be. And together, with your help and the patriots all across this magnificent land, we love our country. We will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you, Georgia.
Let's hope he continues to do these. And we had a post from Dan Scavino Jr. There he is. Looks like he's in Air Force One. The journey continues. Air Force One. He's got a picture of the, looks like a black swan right behind him. Reminds us of this. We are going to show you a new world. Those who are blind will soon see the light. A beautiful, brave new world lies ahead. We take this journey together. One step at a time. Where we go one, we go all.
For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we just lift up to you those parents that lost their children over the past week, the past year. Many of them still hurting and in pain. We ask that you would bring them comfort and rest through the Holy Spirit the way that you know how to. And we thank you for the leadership that is now in our country that's doing all they can to prevent further loss of life in so many ways, not only in our country, but across this earth. We ask that you continue to instill in them a bravery to stand strong against the enemy, the intellect to make the right decisions, and the ability to communicate with the people the way that we need to hear as this all moves forward. We ask for continued protection over President Trump and his family and those, of course, on the front lines, and also in our own lives, protection of our families, and give us the wisdom to make the right decisions and say the right things to our neighbors and friends. We bring this before you in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your love and your support and prayers, folks. We really appreciate it. This is LT Semper Fi with Them We Know, signing out.
Because the Democrats are going to do it. The Democrats are going to terminate the filibuster as soon as they have a chance.
What would you say is the most influential book in American history?
So if I may go back to your second question.
What would you say is the most influential book in
May
American
I go back to your second question?
You can answer the one I just asked you.
Well, as a historian, it's probably hard to choose.